Radiation. Radiation is energy that moves from one place to another in a form that is described as waves or particles. Only certain types of radiation are harmful to humans. Extremely high amounts can be harmful. Alpha rays. Alpha rays consist of two protons and two neutrons bound together into particles. They are produced by the alpha decay of radioactive materials. Beta rays. Beta rays are electrons or positrons emitted by some radioactive nuclei. The beta rays emitted are a form of ionizing radiation. Gamma rays. Gamma rays are electromagnetic waves with the smallest wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum. Gamma rays can travel through thicker materials than X-rays can. Gamma rays are produced by some types of radioactive atoms. Fission. Fission is a nuclear process. It is when an atom splits apart into smaller atoms. The process gives off a lot of energy and is used in nuclear weapons and nuclear reactors. Fusion. Fusion is the process of making a single heavy nucleus from two lighter nuclei. This process is called a nuclear reaction. It releases a large amount of energy. Neutron. Neutrons, with protons and electrons, make up an atom. Neutrons have zero charge, which means they are neutral particles. Atom. Atoms are very small pieces of matter. There are many different types of atoms, each with its own name, mass, and size. Atoms can join together to make molecules. Atoms are made up of three kinds of smaller particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. Exposure. Exposure is the amount of radiation present in the air. This can come from X-rays, gamma rays, neutrons, alpha and beta particles. High levels of exposure can occur from nuclear bombs, nuclear power plants, and workplace accidents. Dose. A dose is a measurement of how much energy is deposited into a material from a source of radiation. It is measured in units called rads. Dosimeter. A dosimeter is a small portable instrument used to measure and record the total accumulated personal dose of ionizing radiation. Geiger counter. A Geiger counter is a traditional device for measuring the exposure rate or intensity of radiation in an area at a given time. It uses a Geiger tube to detect surface contamination by radiation. Atomic tourism. Atomic tourism started with nuclear tests. They were made popular in Las Vegas, Nevada, where visitors could witness the explosions. In recent years, it is a form of tourism in which visitors learn about the atomic age by traveling to significant sites in atomic history, such as museums with atomic weapons, missile silos, vehicles that carried atomic weapons, or sites where atomic weapons were detonated. Nuclear test. A nuclear test is the exploding of a nuclear weapon to assess its effectiveness. Marshallese people. Marshallese people are of Micronesia origin and are believed to have migrated from Asia to the Marshall Islands several thousands of years ago. The Compact of Free Association allows the Marshallese people to work and travel to the United States without visas. Downwinders. Downwinders were individuals and communities in the Intermountain area between the Cascade and Rocky Mountain ranges. People in Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho who were exposed to radioactive contamination or nuclear fallout from nuclear weapons testing and nuclear accidents. Runet Dome. The Runet Dome is a 377-foot, 18-inch thick dome of concrete at sea level. It holds an estimated 73,000 cubic meters of radioactive debris. It includes some plutonium-239. The debris stems from nuclear tests conducted in the Eniwetok Atoll by the United States between 1946 and 1958. Electromagnetic pulse, or EMP. An electromagnetic pulse is a brief burst of electromagnetic energy. Depending upon the source, the origin of an EMP can be natural or artificial. Kilotons. A kiloton is an explosive force equivalent to that of 1,000 tons of TNT. Megatons. A megaton is an explosive force equivalent to that of 1 million tons of TNT. Yield. The explosive yield of a nuclear weapon is the amount of energy released when that particular nuclear weapon is detonated. This is usually expressed as a TNT equivalent. Balloon test. Some nuclear tests use balloons to deliver the bombs into the atmosphere for testing. High-altitude test. High-altitude nuclear tests are conducted within the upper layers of the Earth's atmosphere and in outer space. Several tests were performed at high altitudes by the United States and the Soviet Union between 1958 and 1962.